This is live number 2. Please check out my previous live pertaining to America's Most Wanted segment on Sebastian Rogers, where a panel guests give their commentary on what they think happened to the young boy. His parents were interviewed. So weigh in on the subject, take the polls on my community page. This commentary I'm about to discuss, I briefly mentioned in my last live, which was last night. 3-hour live, very long, chop it up at your discretion. But I talk about this situation pertaining to this dirty, dirty man who has bedded 3 women in Florida in 3 separate counties, married them. One found out about the other women, and it led to her contacting the other women. And now we have 2 women getting their marriages annulled by this Mr. Henry BETSEY. His name is Henry. So we're going to hear from the 3 women who have gotten tangled up with this man, met him briefly and then married him. And I decided to go ahead and talk about this conversation. I would like to say to the viewing audience and to the people involved in this story, if you'd like to contact me, my name is Angela. I have the description listed in this video, how to contact me on Instagram. If you would like to share your story on this panel, you can either show yourself, don't show yourself, but I'd like to hear from all participants, Henry, the 3 women, and also Mr. Sharp, who commented under this video that Michelle, this lady here, abandoned her family for this Black man. Don't know if this is the real ex-husband of Michelle Nairns, Miss Michelle Eileen. A man is representing himself as Sean Sharp underneath this video saying you abandoned your family. If you would like to refute those claims, feel free to contact me, Angela, on IG at bigsexy.71. It is in the description of this video. Let's get down to business, everybody. Welcome to the Vault XL. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Bigamy 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are welcome to the live stream. This dirty bugger married 3 white women, one after the other. They're just not finding out about each other. 2 are getting their marriages annulled, from my understanding. Is the other woman going to get her marriage annulled? Is she still wanting to make peace with this man? This man is foul, and we're going to decide, why did he marry these women? For financial gain? Needed a place to stay? Was he in debt? Was he trying to scam these women? Has he used their personal information to get a line of credit cards, open up bank accounts, so on and so forth? Henry BETSEY has been arrested for fraud, bigamy, marrying 3 women, 3 separate counties in Florida. And why didn't Florida realize that this man had married these 3 women and married at the same time? We now are going to find out they don't have a database to cross-reference marriage licenses, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. Welcome to the Vault XL.
For marrying 3 Florida women in 3 different counties at the same time. Tonight, those women are speaking out, saying the system that handles marriage licenses kept them in the dark.
There are no safeguards. And that, I feel like that's part of where the system failed.
He took each one of us to a county over to get married in.
If the counties did talk, that would have saved me a lot of heartache, a lot of money, a lot of stress.
I-Team investigator Adam Walser breaks down how this could happen at a time when online records can be viewed with a few clicks of a mouse.
A wedding usually signifies a lifetime commitment between 2 people embarking on life's journey. But these 3 Florida women learned they were on the same journey with Henry BETSEY Jr. at the same time. This is Henry's mugshot, which is the most recent and clear picture we have of him. Michelle married Henry in Hernando County in November 2022.
I met him on Match.com. We met in early November.
How soon did you marry Henry?
It was very short. It was very soon. It was within about 3 weeks span.
Henry was still married to Brandy, who married him in Manatee County that February. Brandy asked us not to show her face to protect her job.
I met him on a dating app. The first time I'd ever got on a dating app. He said all the right things.
When Brandy married Henry, he was still married to Tanya, who obtained a marriage license in Gadsden County in November 2020. Tanya asked us to blur her face because she's a domestic violence survivor.
Meeting him on a dating site and the way he portrayed himself, he sold the perfect person when in.
So this is the original woman that we know so far on record, Caucasian lady. This is Tanya, allegedly November 2020. Then he goes on to marry Brandy Joe, February 2022. Then he goes on to marry the first lady that was interviewed, Michelle Eileen Narens, November 2022. So he's spacing out these marriages. What you have to ask yourself is the obvious question. Why did the one woman, I believe it's this lady here, inquire about him to see if he was married to other people? Did she get something in the mail? Did somebody knock at her door? Did somebody call her? Any type of government agency sent any type of notifications or something that appeared fraudulent or allegations of fraud? What made this lady inquire to see if Henry was married to someone else?
In reality, it was none of those things.
I was Betsy, raise your right hand. I'll swear to remain testimony giving just the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yes, sir.
Michelle gave us cell phone videos of court hearings. Henry Betsey Jr. was arrested for felony bigamy last year after Tanya figured out she wasn't his only wife.
Felony.
I just started county by county putting his name in, and that's when I came up with the marriage to Michelle and the marriage to Brandy.
She found me and she messaged me, and I had no idea that she was actually still married to him.
I'm just looking at this. It's so bizarre. We never get discharged.
The wives say marrying Henry was easy.
You go to the records division, you apply for a marriage license, they take your information, they take a copy of your photo ID, and we got married right there at the courthouse. No questions asked. There was nothing that was flagged in the system for him having already two prior open marriage license.
I did the paperwork and got married all within 15 minutes.
In Pinellas County, 2,000 people get married at courthouses each year. There is a 72-hour waiting period for Florida residents, but that can be waived by a judge, and there is no required wait for people from other states. Pinellas County.
Why is there no wait for other people from out of state? I didn't even know that Florida was a go-to place to get married. I thought people preferred to go to Vegas. So you're going to hear in this commentary that this is a basically tourist/marriage destination. I get it. People like going to Florida to visit, move, retire, but I've never heard of people going to Florida to get married. I've never heard of this. So this is something new to the Queen.
County Clerk Kim Burke says Florida makes it easy to get married because the state is a big wedding destination.
Wow.
Does it surprise you that someone was able to be married to three different people in three different Florida counties at the same time?
Well, it does surprise me, but unfortunately, there's not really safeguards to find that out.
Burke says marriage applications are based on the honor system.
They swear that the information on the application is correct. And one of the things they have to show is that if they were married previously, how did the marriage end? Either with death, divorce, or annulment.
But what?
So let's ask that question. Did Mr. Henry Betsey Jr. answer the questions truthfully on his licenses to all these women? Did he admit he was married to another woman, but said she died, they divorced? And did the paperwork also ask for any verification of being divorced or the woman passing away or an annulment? Need to know that as well. What a hot mess.
Licenses and marriage certificates aren't compared to documents in other counties when they're sent to the state.
Because if there were
Why not? Why aren't documents compared in the state? So this is a state database issue. This is how he's able to get away with marrying different people in the state, is because there's no cross-reference database in the state of Florida. Why not? How is it that you don't have a database to show, oh, this guy just applied for a license 6-7 months ago, 2 years ago, and he's not divorced from Susie Mae, Sugar Mama? This is stupid to me. This is so stupid to me. When people apply for benefits such as Social Security, welfare, that's one of the questions they ask on the applications. Did you apply somewhere else? Do you have an open case somewhere else of getting benefits in another state, blah, blah, blah. So I find it very interesting that you have an entire database that does not cross-reference to see that this man was still openly married to other women in the state of Florida. This is bullshit, okay? I'm saying that.
There were safeguards in place and there was cross-referencing on different counties here in the state of Florida. None of this would have ever happened.
His wives, who met Henry on Match, Tinder, and Stir, recently found his profile on another dating site while he was still legally married to them.
Looking for a beautiful woman that understands the ups and downs of life, is trustworthy, and no games.
His wives say they...
Let's go back and read that post, his profile. Let's take a dive into that, shall we? Welcome to the Vault XL, everyone. This is what Henry said on one of the date sites. Empty nester and great guy looking for a partner to do this crazy thing called life. Looking for a beautiful woman that understands the ups and downs of life. Trustworthy and no games. So is he saying he's trustworthy? Or he's saying he wants someone trustworthy with no games? If you're seeing someone, by all means, see it through. What did he say? If we're meant to meet, it will be happy bumbling. So I guess that's Bumble. This is so funny to me. A fraud has the nerve to say, I'm looking for a beautiful woman that understands the ups and downs of life, trustworthy and no games. You are not trustworthy. You are playing games. Then you're telling them if they're already with somebody to see it through, which you haven't done that because you keep hopping from county to county, marrying different women. So everything he's asking for in his profile, he's already committing fraud with other women. Don't you find that interesting? And then has the nerve to say, if we're meant to meet, it will be happy bumbling. Well, they're not happy now because they bumble when you're a fraud. The hell out of here.
The ups and downs of life, is trustworthy and no games.
His wives say they later came to believe their marriages had more to do with money than love.
The day we got married, he was like, well, we need to make your bank account a joint bank account.
We were either divorced or about to be divorced, maybe coming into something.
Child support, alimony, anything that comes with, the extra perks of marrying a newly single divorced woman.
Exactly.
So he hit the jackpot here.
He did, 100%.
Henry's financial situation appears to have taken a turn for the worse.
Do you have any source of income presently? No, sir. Do you have money in the bank? No, sir.
Michelle and Tanya say they escaped their marriage and obtained domestic violence orders after Henry became abusive. Brandy says she kicked Henry out of her house after just 5 days of marriage. Henry finally filed for divorce from Tanya following his arrest and is now seeking annulment for his marriages to Michelle and Brandy.
Do you think there's any need to do anything else to?
This is funny. So one lady kicks him out after 5 days of marriage. What did he do to you for you to kick him out, Miss Lady? Then he seeks an annulment from 2 of the women after he gets arrested. As I said before in my commentary last night, please check out that last live. As I said, it's very long. I talk about Sean Puffy Combs and my own personal experiences with men. So please chop it up. You will thoroughly enjoy that live stream. I get a little crunk, so don't mind the potty mouth. But anyway, I decided to do a separate live just for this case because I got a feeling somebody's going to contact Queen to give her the 411 on Mr. Henry and these other women as well. 5 days of marriage, she asked him to get out of her house, one of the women. Why? What did Henry do? We also learned he was violent with 2 of the women. That's possibly the reason why one of the women wanted him out of her home, which rightfully so. Hell, get the hell out of here. You're getting your hands on me. Exactly. The fact he needs to spend money to pay for the divorces. I said that in the live yesterday. No way I'm going to sit here and pay for an annulment by a no good son of a son. Okay? He needs to spend some money on the annulments. That's the least he can do. No contest. They're not asking for anything. Yeah, you pay for the annulment. That's the least you can do. But you see, he went to court saying he doesn't have any money. He doesn't have a job. So now we ask the ultimate question. Mr. Betsy, did you have employment when you met Tanya? That's the woman, the first woman, the original woman, who you see with the longer hair, and I think she's a little bit older. Then there's Michelle Eileen Naren. She's the one with the glasses. She's the one that's first interviewed for this segment. Then there's Brandy. She's sitting at the table with the reporter. So, Mr. Betsy, did you have employment when you met all three women, what was Henry doing when you all met him? Did you ever go to his home, apartment, condo, barn, shed? Did he have an apartment, home? See, you got to ask all those questions. As I've told you in the last live, my father always told me, always find out where a man lives. You see, if you find out where a man lives and you can verify he lives in that place, you've been in that place, there's no evidence of others living there, owning the place, that's your start. Because in the end, there's really no need in talking to anyone that does not have their own place. Let's just keep it real, because you're going to be the go-to person. And that's where the fraud and the manipulation and the connery and the fuckery will come in. Everything is going to fall on you. The responsibility as the chauffeur, the Uber, the Lyft ride, this taxi cab, the banker, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. You are going to be the go-to person for everything. You are going to be the one being used and manipulated because you're the one with the resources. So when you meet somebody that don't got a fucking pot to piss in, everything's going to fall on you. Did Henry have a house, apartment, a car, and a job? Does he have children? Does he owe child support? Is he wanted in other states? Has he married women in other states? Stay woke, everybody.
To prevent this type of thing, I just think it's too hard. I mean, as much as we have records and so forth, you know, people are very transient. You can get divorced in another state.
Henry's wives are hoping he'll be convicted and spend time behind bars.
It's a potential that he may just walk away with probation.
Exactly.
And that's what's really hurtful.
Exactly.
Is there's no
Put that on a poll.
There's nothing that is going to stop them from doing this again.
Henry Betsey Jr. has pleaded not guilty to the felony bigamy charge and has another court hearing later this month. We reached out to him, but he declined through his attorney to comment. I'm IT investigator Adam Wolf.
All right, so let's get a good look at this fraudster. That's Michelle. Got her full name now. Michelle Eileen Narrance. There is someone out here by the name of Mr. Sean Sharp commenting under this video who claims he was once married to you, Michelle, and that you abandoned 2 adoptive children and your own 2 biological children to get with this black man. So now we got to ask, is her ex-husband a black man, a white man, Jewish, what? Some will say it won't matter, but I'm just putting it out there for aesthetics. We see that Mr. BETSEY likes white women. Why? Why are you choosing only white women to marry, sir? Fraudulently. This is a felony charge, everybody. So what I find interesting is that he's trying to get his marriage annulled from these 2 of these women, but he's going into court saying, I'm not guilty, pleading not guilty to the felony charges. But you want to get the marriages annulled. That's right, because that's to show that you've never been married, of course. So you know exactly what you're doing, sir. Very, very interesting. Sean Sharp, please contact the Queen on IG if you would like to share your story on this network pertaining to Michelle and your marriage to her. You're claiming that she abandoned her children and you, the husband, to get with this black man. I'd like to know if that is true. Michelle, you can also reach out to the Queen on IG, BigSexy.71, if you would like to refute these claims that this Sean Sharp is claiming under this video. If you all would need verification, just scroll down through the questions and you will see his commentary that she abandoned her children. Where are her children? Does she have a relationship with her children? Does she have custody rights to her children? Does she see her children? Is she taking care of her children? As you heard her commenting, she was newly divorced, which may be that guy who's commenting below this video. She's getting child support, alimony. He knew about it, so he felt like he was going to get a win-win. But what foolish woman would be spending all her monies on a man who doesn't have anything to bring to the table? But it happens every day here in America. That's why I asked the question, was he working when he met all of these women? Can't really tell what he looks like there with those shades. So let's go back and get a picture of his mugshot. That is Michelle, everybody. I believe that is the last wife that he married. She's the one with all the children that some man says she abandoned for this black man, which I don't know. Was she sleeping with this man while married? Very interesting. This is Tanya. This is the original, I believe, orchestrator digging into the belly of the beast to see what Mr. Henry was up to. Tanya, why were you trying to figure out if he was married to other women? Did you receive any information in the mail phone that he was a fraud? Any type of allegations in the mail for any type of fraud of bank statements, credit cards, line of credit, Social Security, welfare, whatever? She's, I think, a little older than all these other people. That's Mr. BETSEY in court. Now, I'm wondering if he is fully Black American or is he Haitian from the Bahamas, the islands? Just asking because there are a lot of Black people that live in Florida, but they're not originally from the United States. So I'm just throwing that out there. Could it be that he's possibly from the islands or South America somewhere? And that's Brandy. She did not want to be seen. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. That's Michelle. There we go. Henry BETSEY Jr. facing a felony. Felony charges for bigamy. State of Florida. Married women, 3 separate counties. There was never no cross-reference pertaining to the marriage licenses. Michelle Eileen Narrens, November 2022. Brandy Joe, February 2022. Group. He married her in November of 2020. Will all the marriages be dismantled and put under an annulment for fraud, which naturally a judge will grant them? 2 of them I know have been granted. This is just disturbing information. Florida, and I'm sure there are other men, women around the United States who have committed the same type of crime, marrying people and not fully divorced their spouses. And naturally, this man knows what he's doing, because down the road, if you've been married to a person 10 years, in most states, you can apply for their monies, retirement, Social Security, if you did not know that. So he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And that's what's scary, is that people research ways to defraud and scam. But hell, he's jumping around so fast from one woman to the other, he's gonna have to keep a little black book of Social Security numbers and birth dates to live long enough to claim anybody's retirement or, you understand what I'm saying? Because who's gonna stay married to a man who's not even being around them? So you have to ask that question. Tanya was the first. He probably left her at some point, or she put him out, and then he went on and found the next woman, Brandy, and then that didn't work out. So then he went on and found Michelle. So you got to ask yourself, was he living with some of these women at the same time that he was procuring a relationship with the next one? Because see, that's what they do. Stay with you just long enough to get your monies, use you up, you know, steal from you, and then they're working on the next victim. So was he working on the next victim while with the first victim? Because I believe Tanya's the first one. And she appears to be a little bit older, no disrespect. But was he working on Brandy while with Tanya? Then he gets with Brandy. Now he's working on Michelle. And usually they do that. While they're with one, they're already talking to another one. And you also hear he was on 3 different date sites. So imagine what he was saying on those date sites, which I read you one of the profiles that he had up there, talking about meeting a trustworthy person, no games, blah, 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 or he's trustworthy, however you want to interpret it. It's funny, like I said, he's saying everything that he is. That's the first person to put that on a profile. I want a trustworthy person. I want somebody kind. I want somebody decent. Oh, if you're with somebody, stay with them, blah, blah, blah. Well, hell, you're not staying with the people that you're with. You're on the date sites picking up women, hoping you'll find a fool to marry. And then look at Michelle. She married him after 3 weeks. You just got a divorce. Don't know how long it's been since she divorced that husband, but damn. 3 weeks you're marrying a guy from the date site? And let me tell people something, because everybody's got a bad commentary about the date site. What you all need to understand, the people on the date site, they're not living in a separate universe. They're living right here on earth with the rest of us. So those people that are on the date site, they're out here talking to other people, mingling with people at work, restaurants, bars, funerals, bar mitzvahs. They're walking around like everybody else. So if they weren't on the date site trying to pick up a stranger victim, they would be doing it at the gym, the church, so on and so forth. Because I hear this all the time. Don't talk to nobody on the date site. Don't talk to nobody. My God, get the fuzz out your ears. You think that's the only place that they're mingling with people is on the date site? Come on now. They're probably talking to people on Facebook, getting in their DMs, Instagram, other apps, YouTube, wherever. They see somebody they like, they're interested, they put their bid in. They see somebody walking down the street, they put their bid in. They see somebody at the park, the gas station. It's all the same. The app, the date site is just an easier tool to pick up people and kind of manipulate because you don't have to go out. You can just put up a picture, fake picture, no picture, put something stupid on the profile, wait to see if somebody responds. That's it. It's not rocket science. And there are men on there that are married, separated. They're on there to do no good. But the point is, if you're no good, you're no good irregardless of a date site. And that's the message I keep preaching to people. Because some people just somehow just think there's like an alternate world where it's only people on date sites that are bad people. You're bad regardless. The date site is just a tool. If there were no date sites, you still would be this dirty dog, okay? This man's a dog. Pretend we're in 1990 and there are no date sites. There's no Wi-Fi. He would be a dog. Without Facebook, without Bumble, without Match.com. That's the point. You want to go out here and cheat, manipulate, con, steal, rob. It has nothing to do with the date site. That's who you are. That is your motivation. So if there was no single ads, date site, apps, Facebook dating, whatever, plenty of fish, you would still be out here manipulating people, lying to people, conning. That's why I want you all to check out my video from last night where I give you the business of a guy that I briefly met Wednesday night who was on the take. Some woman ended up calling my phone yesterday, claiming to be his wife. And I was just like, I don't have time for this bullshit. I'm not even interested in this man. Because God knows I was trying to get rid of his black ass Wednesday night. He was all in my face, touching my arm. And I was just thinking, dear God, why won't he fucking go away? So when I didn't hear from him Thursday, I was relieved. Sadly, he called me Friday and all hell broke loose yesterday with him texting, trying to contact me. I just reciprocated by saying, hello, have a great day. And who knew I was going to have some woman calling my phone saying, hi, I'm his wife and don't call him. And I'm like, bitch, I ain't called him. I have not called his phone. And if you're checking his phone, you would see Queen ain't called his phone. He texted Queen. And never did he say when I met him Wednesday that he had a relationship with another whole person. And I let her know. I don't want him. I don't know him. Don't call my phone again because there's nothing going on. But that's the point I'm trying to make to people. That it doesn't matter where you meet these people. If you are a fraud, you are a fraud. And that's what was said about that guy. He's homeless, blah, blah, blah. Like I told the audience last night, what fool would call another woman to tell her that she's married to a homeless man? Well, if he's homeless, what do you care about where he's at and what he's doing? Which made no sense. It was the stupidest conversation I'd ever encountered in my life. Just a stupid conversation. I never heard of anything so stupid. You're calling a woman to say, hey, this guy who's texting calling you, and you're calling him blah, blah, blah. He's married and he's homeless. And I'm sitting here laughing to this woman thinking, what the hell are you talking about? I've not called his phone. He did not buy me chicken at Bojangles. And I'm about to tell her where I met him and where he bought the chicken. It doesn't matter because there's nothing going on. I've deleted both of their numbers, blocked both of them, because to me, they're both two hens, evenly yoked. That's why I made this short about him the other day after I got home, because it was so funny how desperate he was acting that night, just touching my arm and touching my arm. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with this dude? And I told him that, why do you can't you talk without touching my arm? Oh, you're just so soft. And then he kept saying, oh, you touched my arm first. And I said, well, I don't remember. I said, well, I do have a habit sometimes of touching people's arms, you know, or hand or something when I'm talking to them. It's just out of being friendly. But, you know, hey, I apologize. I didn't know that this was going to lead you to feel like you need to keep touching my arm to hold a conversation. But it's all a ploy. It's all a game. I'm not a dodo word. I'm 54. I wasn't born yesterday. He possibly is homeless, going from place to place, house to house. As I said to people in the last live, I don't know if he just got out of jail, penitentiary, he's in a halfway house, he's homeless. I don't know his situation, don't really care, because I saw the signs that something wasn't right with him. You understand what I'm saying? He didn't even want to tell me where he lived, but he's worrying me to death about where I lived. Where do you live? Where do you live? Where do you live? Do you live over here? Do you live near here? And it was strange to me. And I told myself, something is not right with this guy. So when he kept bugging me about where I was going to go after I left the place, the restaurant, I was like, I'm going home, but right now I'm going to stay here for a minute, talk to my friend, have a good night. He didn't get the picture. I'm not interested in you walking me to a car, following me out into the dark. I'm not trying to take you home. He should have realized that. And finally he left after he paid for the chicken wings. He finally got his ass on. But you see, this guy probably behaves the same way. He gets in the company of a female and he puts it on thick, lays it on thick that he's interested. Oh, you're pretty, you smell good, you're soft, you got beautiful hair, eyes, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, they're at the courthouse getting married. What people don't seem to understand, women especially, words are cheap. You may be a pretty lady, nice looking lady, smell good, soft as a feather, but that does not mean that this person is genuine, that's spitting this nonsense to you. Okay? That's the point. This motherfucker would say this shit in his sleep. Oh, you're pretty, you smell good, oh, you look nice, oh, you're talented. You know, just a bunch of garbage. And like I said, it's not to down any woman that she doesn't have any of these attributes. What I'm saying is, he and so many other of these males out here, they're not genuine people. They're not interested in you for the right reason. That's my point. You may be talented, gorgeous, beautiful hair, stunning, but it doesn't mean he's really interested in you for you. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hello, how you doing? Hello, Tangerine. It doesn't mean he's really interested in you. This man is on a come up because you can't explain logically bouncing from county to county, marrying different women, leaving just one woman after the other without divorcing them. He's up to no good. And he's probably dating these women to just have a place to stay, get a hold of their bank accounts. As you heard one woman saying, he wanted to mesh both of their bank accounts together. Of course, so he can just go in there, drain your ass dry, and then poof, disappear. I'm surprised he even uses his real damn name, because a lot of the fraudsters that do this type of behavior of using women and milking them out their money and their savings and line of credit, they're not even using a real name. They're switching their name around 50, 60 different ways. So now we got to ask that question about Mr. BETSEY. Henry, have you ever used a different name or alias in meeting a woman? Has he been married to any other woman in the state of Florida besides these three women? Has he been married to any other woman in another state? Does he have children? Has he taken care of his children? Is there child support liens on him? Is he on the run? Does he have a criminal background? Does he have a criminal background in another state? states besides Florida. Didn't hear that he had a criminal record in Florida, but I'm sure as time goes by, we'll probably be hearing more BS about Mr. Henry BETSEY Jr. If you see this man, this black man, look at him carefully. Black man, bald-headed, green eyes. If you see him on a date site, run like hell, delete, report him to the date site as a fraudster. If you see him out at the Piggly Wiggly, a restaurant, the park, the beach, run like hell. Anybody that looks like him, run like hell. I'm just saying. We know that you can misidentify a person, but let me tell you, you don't want to get tangled up with this fellow here. That's why it is best to get to know people. And I'm sure some of these women are probably decent women. I'm not here to judge them. Just saying that they jumped in the hot water very fast. And it's common sense. Marrying someone after 3 weeks is not a good idea. I don't care what they're saying to you. I don't care what they're doing for you. They might actually be buying you things, doing things for you, giving you money. 3 weeks is too soon. And I'd like to know, did this man have a place to live? Can any of these women verify that they went to Henry's apartment or house, saw where he lived, saw that he had furniture, a bed, put the key in the door? Did he have a viable working car? See, all those are pertinent things when you're out here trying to date someone. You want someone to have a full life. And I get it. There's going to be times where people are in between jobs, a place, a home, a car. But at some point, if the person does not have anything to show from living, this is not a person you want to get involved with. Because as I said, you're going to be the one holding the bag. And you're going to be the one manipulating and con and spending all the damn money. And that is the worst thing a woman can do, is meet a man who don't got a pot to piss in, a window to throw it out of, don't got a car. He's got legal issues, bad track record with women, marriages, child support owed, violent, criminal record. And you're the one spending all the money. You're the chauffeur, the Uber, the rideshare driver. You're loaning out money, you're buying cigarettes, beer, liquor, you're giving somebody a free place to live. That's not a life you want for yourself. And I spend this advice to young women specifically. You don't want to get caught up with a guy like this, who's just possibly pillow to post, out here looking for women. You see, he's only dating white women because he assumes white women have money, which I mentioned that in my live last night. That is a myth that a lot of black men have. Oh, I'll date a white woman. She's going to be submissive. She's going to let me do whatever I want. She's going to give me money, a place to live. She's going to let me use her car. She'll help me buy a car. I've shared these stories with you all before in the past pertaining to a black man who has this myth and theory about white women, that they're easier to use, manipulate. But in the end, that same black man, he learned the hard way by dealing with a white woman. And like I told him then, I tell it to him again. You're going to fuck around, you're going to end up dead. Because you're going to meet the wrong one, and they're going to end up putting a slug in your head. You have to be careful out here using and manipulating people. Just as these women, they need to be careful with taking up with men they don't know. And long story short, you can date a person 10, 15 years, be married to them 20 years, and learn things about them that you never knew because you don't know people. I get so sick and tired of hearing people in true crime stories saying, I know my son, I know my daughter, I know my father. Well, if you knew them, you wouldn't be sitting up being interviewed for 2020 and Dateline in a Netflix movie, in a TMZ documentary, if you knew the person. Checkmate. Because if you knew them, they wouldn't be accused of a crime. Stay woke. That's a myth. I know him. I know her. He wouldn't do this. She wouldn't do that. They would never. That's my son. I love him. Well, great. But people are tainted. And that's something people need to understand about their own family members. Because I'm sure there's somebody out here that would defend this man. You've got it all wrong. He's not that type. Well, the paperwork don't lie. He's got 3 marriage certificates in 3 counties in the state of Florida. And he deliberately took these women to different counties to marry them. And that should be a red flag right there. You live in one county, and then he says, well, let's go over here to this county over here and get married. And the first thing you're going to say is, well, why are we going over there and I don't live over there? Bingo card. Ding, ding, ding. Bells should be busting your eardrums. Yeah, why are you going to another county to marry this black man? And you don't live in that damn county. So what excuse would he have? Well, I just think we should go over here, and I hear it's cheaper, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, you should know the average woman. She'll Google. Well, no, that's not true. It costs a little more to go over there and get married. So why are we getting married over here? Well, I found a nice little place that we could go get married to. That's why. And you would stupidly just ride the ride and marry him over there in that other county, knowing it don't make no damn sense. See, the signs are always there in the beginning. And that's what women need to accept. The signs. Accept the signs. There were signs before he probably asked the women to marry him. Because I'm betting you, he ain't even had a place to live. He's moving around too much, for one. You want me to believe he's kept an apartment or house while marrying all 3 of these women? He's kept the same house or an apartment? Come on now, let's do the math. You think he's kept the same house or an apartment while bedding all these women? You can use deduction. He was living with woman A and then went and found woman B. Then moved in with woman B and then went and looked for woman C while still living with woman B. So this is why I said you need to see where a man sleeps. He don't got nowhere to sleep. He can't take you to that house. His name ain't on the lease and his name ain't on the deed to the house. Leave him alone. He can't show you a viable ID with his real name. Leave him alone. I know it may seem a bit intrusive to ask a person for their identification, but why get wrapped up talking to someone day for day and you don't even know who you're talking to? As I've shared my story with you all about Mr. Professional. For 5 months, I thought I was talking to a man with the name Tony, but that was not his government name. His name is Sean. Although Anthony is allegedly his middle name. So he felt like, well, Tony's really not really fraudulent. I said, yeah, but nobody's calling you Tony. Your name is Sean. And you lied to me. And yes, Queen met him on a date site. And he lied about everything. His name, his age, his profession, and also that he had a baby on the way. So here you have a man who you thought was 47. He was actually your own age, 53 at the time, and had a baby about to be born when you met him. This is why you need to see identification when you first start talking to a man or a woman. Hey, I need to see your driver's license to verify you are who you say you are, your name or the name you gave me. And I get it. Sometimes when you first meet people, you don't want to be too forward with where you work, where you live for security reasons because you don't know the person. I get that. But at some point, there has to be some trust that you're going to have to give a person your real name, your occupation, where you work, and where you stay. Because you can't have a full relationship if you don't have the basics and the truth to the basics, such as name, occupation, age, birth date. And I found it funny too, his birthday was days after mine. So we're both Aquarius. They woke everybody. I'm the 29th of January, he's February 2nd. It just blew me away when I found out all this out in January. But the thing about it is I knew something wasn't right with him. I knew he wasn't being truthful with me. I just didn't know exactly what it was. But my inkling told me in the beginning something wasn't right, and then in October I really knew something wasn't right because he had a certain type of jacket on one day when he finally came to meet me at the bar when I was watching the game. UT was playing, and he had on a jacket. And this guy was inquiring, "Hey, do you work there?" And he thinks I didn't hear the conversation, but I did hear it. And that never left me. And I went home Googling that dealership, but I didn't open the website to see all the people who worked there. Well, fast forward January, I did that. And I almost threw up when I saw his picture, and his name was Sean, not Tony. And even the last name wasn't the same. And it hurt. And he's just a manipulator. And I told myself, this person ain't fit to even be breathing, in my opinion. Child of God, he may be, but he can't be honest about anything because he lied about so much. And the fact that he has a newborn, a baby that's a couple of months old now, how can you be a father to a girl child? And you're out here using women. And then you came from a woman. And he never talked much about his mother, and that led me to believe he didn't have a good relationship with his mother. And that's usually where this type of behavior comes from. Men who didn't have good mothers, or they didn't relate to their mother, possibly abandoned by their mother. They saw their mother abused, so they go out and they abuse women, manipulate, con, beat them up, shove them around, steal from them, hurt them, rape them, assault them, traffic them, because they don't have respect for women. So the fact that this guy, Sean, now has a girl child, that's very scary to me. Because what is it that he's going to teach his girl child when he doesn't even know how to treat a woman himself? Be aware of your faculties, ladies. Men too, because men are also scammed by women, used and manipulated and conned by women. Same-sex relationships, it's all the same. You need to get to know people, but you need to start with the basics, which is government name, where they work, that they actually work there. You have verified it for yourself, such as you've watched them walk in, walk out. You can go to the job and meet them there, see them there. You get what I'm saying? Also, where they live. He or she does not want to tell you where they live after a couple of conversations or public meetings. You need to leave it alone. Because there's no need in you entertaining someone at your home. They having access to your personal information, where you work, the type of car you drive, where you live, and then you don't know anything about this person. They're just basically a voice on the phone and video chatting and meeting in public, but that's not enough. And frankly, when you meet people also on the date sites and apps, you do need to video chat. If you're not video chatting with that person within 1 day to 2 days, you need to stop talking to them. There's no need to keep talking and texting to a person because a picture isn't shit. Most people are scammed by pictures. So anyone that sits up and say, "Oh, I was scammed after 2 months of talking to him or her," that means you never video chatted, which makes no damn sense. That's the first thing you should want to do, is look at the person that you are speaking to. Do not bank on the pictures on a profile, because anybody can post a picture and open up a profile for Facebook, Instagram, a date site. That does not mean that is the person. And one of the telltale signs of a fraudster, foreigner, pretending to be an American, the English is off. It's broken English. They put a question mark behind a sentence that's supposed to be a statement. Instead of a period, it's a question mark. Kind of like saying, "Hope you had a great day," question mark, and the question mark is like 4 or 5 spaces over. That's not how Americans talk. We put a question behind an actual question. If they're asking you for money, if they're asking for you to be a sugar baby, I'll pay you for conversation. But don't talk about it. This ain't a game. That's a con. That's somebody trying to get you to send money first, and then they'll say, "Oh, I'll send you so much." No. Block, delete. That's all you have to do. Yes, they did say there were abuses. Yes. So yes, he was violent with 2 of the women. And then one woman who's the original woman that started this, I believe that was Tanya, she said she didn't want to be seen because she was a abuse survivor. So I don't know if she was speaking of him in general or if she had been in a violent relationship before him. Wasn't really clear on that. But nonetheless, this is a tragic story because these type of cases happen every day. And this is how a lot of people end up dead, which is the worst case scenario of dealing with a stranger, is that you could end up dead. So everybody likes to joke about the date site. Don't talk to nobody on the date site. As I keep trying to tell people, stop focusing on that. That's not the problem. The date site is a entity. The person is the problem. If they weren't on a date site, they would be doing the same damn thing, because when there were no date sites, when there was no Facebook, no Wi-Fi, no internet, people were using and manipulating people, marrying them, jumping from place to place, marrying them. This has been going on for years, this behavior. It's just that the internet is now a tool to manipulate, con, and defraud people. That is all. That is all. But the fuckery and the connery is ancient. Man has been deceiving man since God created the earth, point blank. And it will continue until he takes us out of here. And that's just the way it is. There's always somebody looking for a come up and a way to defraud you, use you. I don't care if it's for a ride, if it's for money, bus fare, $2 for a liquor bottle, cigarette, vape pen, heroin, coke, meth. It's all the same. Place to stay, it's all the same. What I can get from you without giving you anything in return. It is up to you to decipher and know the difference when you are being hoodwinked and bamboozled by another human being. Beware of this man, Henry BETSEY Jr., because he is on the take. He is a con artist. He is looking for a victim. So if you see him, run like hell. As I said, it is obvious his preference are white women. And it's not to be racist, but he knows that this shit ain't gonna fly with no black woman. This bar hopping, house hopping, you know, I'm over here, over there. That shit's gonna get old at some point. The woman's gonna say, well, this ain't working out. He ain't coming home. I ain't heard from him. You just go ahead and shit file paperwork. Now, it's not to say there ain't no black women out here married to some men and the men left them and they ain't went and filed for divorce. Once you see he's not coming home, he ain't came home in a couple days to a week, whatever, nobody's giving you information, you need to go ahead and file for divorce. And if you just married him, file for an annulment. Be done with it. Save yourself. It's not worth the trouble. It's not worth the trouble. And I don't care who you are, your race, what you look like, what you got. When you see the person is now talking down to you, they're being violent, you think they're trying to steal your money, they're taking your money, they're opening up lines of credit cards, you are hearing about fraud, you're getting phone calls from government agencies, other women, men, children, the neighbor, whomever, run like hell. Because you do not want to end up a true crime story. Because people like this can hurt you, harm you. And when their back is up against the wall, they will resort to murder because they have a lot to lose. And especially if they have a good thing, they're in a home where it's comfortable, it's nice, there's money flowing in the bank account, there's nice cars, nice furniture, nice neighborhoods. They don't want to give that up. They don't want to give that up. And if that means they've got to snuff your ass out to maintain that lifestyle, they surely will. And that's what these women need to also think. Besides him being violent, beating you up and hurting you, he also could just marry you to murder your ass and collect insurance money off of you. Put you in a bathtub and say you drowned. So you got to think of the worst case scenario when you're dealing with somebody like this, because that's going to be the next step. What can I do to secure a life without having to deal with the woman altogether? That would be homicide. Let me take out a life insurance policy on her. Let me figure out a way to get her unalived. And I beat the charge, collect the money, and take over her valuables and keep it moving. And also, Michelle has children allegedly. Don't know if she has custody of them, but imagine her in a house, because she said she's newly divorced, so I'm assuming she had custody and she's getting alimony and all those things, child support. You got this thing in your house with you and your kids? See, we didn't even touch on that. Did the other women have children in their homes? Pets in their homes? Because this thing is a rabid dog, and he don't need to be around a dog, a real dog, a cat, or a human. So imagine this thing around children, girl children. So you don't even know if this man has ever violated a child before, if you get my drift. And now you got him in your home, around your valuables, your things, your body, your mind, your kids, and you don't even fucking know him. You've got to use your head, ladies. Trust me, I've made many mistakes dealing with men. And I seem to attract the worst type of men. I don't even have to be necessarily interested in them. Because one, like I said, I don't know them. Just somebody saying hello to you in public or at a restaurant or a bar or messaging you on an app, that's not knowing them. But you start seeing the little signs of the nasty tongue, get upset easily, don't want to confide in you about basic information. Those are signs. Leave them alone. Because if a man can't answer basic questions, where he lives, where he works, if he works, then what do you have to talk about? Absolutely nothing. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video, take the polls on my community page, follow me on the Newsbreak app. I want to thank all my followers over there and those who have came over to YouTube to follow me. Please check out my shorts where I'm talking about dating, men, P. Diddy, all type of breaking news. Once again, Sean Puffy Combs' trial will start on Monday. Jury selection will start on Monday, and then the trial will start on May 12th. Arrest in London Thomas's disappearance, murder. Her name is Charlotte Pendergrass. She was rearrested Friday, arraigned. She had knowledge, lied to, I believe, officers, FBI, whomever, about the disappearance of this kid. She has a connection to that house. Rumor is that she's the mother of the boy that was allegedly dating London Thomas, or an ex-boyfriend. What does she know? What is she covering up? That's the latest developments coming out of, I believe that's what, Michigan, Ohio, wherever. Just bring you the latest news. And then Sebastian Rogers' case was on America's Most Wanted last week. Sorry, I'm late with that commentary, but I just did a live about that today. Please check out that live stream, about 28 minutes long. And check out my live from last night, 3 hours long, talking about Sean Puffy Combs' case. I threw in some other cases and also my personal experience with men, and also the date site scenarios that I've encountered in the past 7-8 months. So feel free to go back in my library. I have 3,000 plus videos where I talk about men, relationships, real true crime stories, real date stories. And as I said to people in the live last night, I could go live every day and share my accounts of life and things I've dealt with. And I never have to talk about true crime or breaking news for a whole year. Because I can share a story that's an actual story, in my perception, naturally, of the story, without ever talking about what is actually happening in the news. Because Queen has lived at 54 years of age. But if you want to hear some of my date stories, just feel free to go back in my library. My channel was Everyday Shenanigans at that time, and I've got quite a few videos talking about my life and dating and other stories of women and their situations. So feel free to check out that content. You all have a wonderful weekend. Please stay safe. It's a little cool here in the high 10. Temperature has dropped immensely and it's been raining, so the sun has kind of left us. But anywho, God is good. He has favored us. And I want to thank him for another day above ground. And I want to thank all of you for your kind words and prayers pertaining to my health situation. Next Friday, I will be getting a biopsy pertaining to my thyroid. And we're going to pray that everything is good. There's no cancer. And if it is, then I will roll with it and lean on faith because I know God's got it. Thank you all for your time and following this network. And I might put up another short or two because I think of Jussie Smollett notification just came up on my phone. So I'm going to see what the hell's going on with that fool because I know it's some BS. But drop your comments below. Take the post on my community page. $sign Big Angie. 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats. Welcome during the live stream. God bless all of you. Please be safe. Mind the children. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Sebastian Rogers still missing. Year later. What has happened to this kid? Who's involved? Foul play, the child fled, kidnapping. Is the child alive? Weigh in. Take the polls on my community page, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later. You have been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.